Storytelling is one of the best ways to communicate, and Dr. Jim Grassi is one of the best communicators, using practical anecdotes, metaphors, and illustrations from his vast background as a pastor, teacher, NFL chaplain, and Hall of Fame outdoorsman.
Well, one of the things I've had the privilege of doing is traveling to various places to talk about my favorite subject, which is discipleship. And I was in New Zealand, and there was a group of pastors in a room, large room, and we were in a circle, and we started talking about discipleship. And as we got into the subject, I soon realized that we had different definitions as to what a disciple was. That everybody was speaking about discipleship, and we were letting the world define what discipleship is versus what the Bible teaches about discipleship. If anyone serves me, let's say that together. If anyone serves me, him my Father will honor. Do we want to be honored by our Father? Do we want God to be proud of us? Then it says that we need to follow Jesus and serve Christ according to the biblical principles laid out. My point is simply this, that as Christians, how are we looking at our lives in terms of what we're doing? Where's our passion? Where's our interest? How are we being intentional about our participation in what God has called us to?
Jim and Coach Tom Cable, who is the assistant head coach of the Seahawks and former head coach for the Raiders, double-team an audience on Father's Day.
In John 1, he said, "Come, you will see." What was he talking about? He was talking about building relationship first. And oftentimes some of the people that aren't here, that are your friends or your neighbors or coworkers, we want them to come to Christ, and we think it's a quick fix. We'll give them a tract or give them a book, those things are good. But Jesus shared for us that it is a process that's come and you will see. And then in Matthew 4:19, he comes across the disciples again and he says, "Follow me, I'll make you fishers of men." That was an invitation to a deeper level of commitment. And then in Luke 5, we see him with the fishermen again, and this time they see the magnificence of Jesus. They see he is the God-man, because what did he do? He brought fish, 2 boatfuls of fish, and he spoke to them in their language. Again, a process. And then finally in John 21, we see Jesus saying to his disciples after his resurrection, "Here I am, and how much do you love me?" And that's something I think we all need to get a handle on, particularly in the world we're in today, is how much do we love Jesus? How much are we willing to sacrifice? What Coach is telling his team and these young players is, are you willing to be all in? Are you willing to be all in?
He is a well-known author with a provocative approach to motivating and inspiring an audience. His humor and sensible approach to sharing his story will captivate an audience.
To help you develop an action plan that works for your church. We've been doing this 32 years. We probably are the most experienced men's ministry in the country. And I say that with humility. Maybe it's because we've had to learn so many things over and over again. We're slow learners, I guess, or whatever. But the reality is we have taken the best of the best that we've seen, that we've put together ourselves, and tried to put it into a format that we can pass on to you. 32 years ago from this date, I was in Merritt Hospital going through a 9.5-hour operation. And as I kissed those 11-year-old boys goodbye, our twin sons, I thought that might be the last time I would see them. And I'll tell you, some of you have been there, or you've been with families. There's no lonelier place than a sterile white room the night before a surgery. And it causes you to really think about those things that are important versus those things that are urgent. And for me, I realized that what God had shown me 3 years prior about reprioritizing my life, that there were men like me all over, particularly down there in the Silicon Valley where we were from, that had the same problem that I did. We were worried about being important instead of doing what was important.
With over 32 years' experience in men's ministry and as founder and president of the culturally strategic Men's Ministry Catalyst organization, one of Jim's greatest passions is teaching pastors about how to develop a dynamic ministry to men. He would be delighted to meet with your group or church. For more information on Dr. Jim Grassi, you can contact Dana Ashley at the Ambassador Speakers at 615-384-5996 or contact Dana at dana.ashley@ambassadorspeakers.com.